I'm gonna deselect that because the lines across the screen are gonna bother me the whole time.
Oh,
All right,
God
here
damn
we
it,
go.
Mother! Why now?
Literally within seconds of me about to hit the clapboard here.
Hello?
TJ Pownall and Charles Redding. These are today's judges on the Fantasy Tournament Game Show where anything can happen, anyone can win, and you never know who will show up next. It's anyone's game!
Hey! Woo! It's Christmas!
I'm your host, Rob Bourgeois, and it's Christmas apparently.
Yeah,
Again.
look at the tree. And, hold on, I need to...
He's got to wear his Christmas crown.
Old acquaintance be forgot. I don't know
Now
the
it's
words.
more like a Christmas bonnet. So how this works is we've got a tournament bracket here, and it's set on a spinning wheel. Very fancy. We've also got two previous champions from tournaments past. We have Sailor Moon from our live show at Kapow Comics and Coffee. And we have Chef Hatchet, the returning champion from our Twitter tournament. I am also going to give each of you 15 chances to put a character up on the board. I will show you 4 characters at a time. If you know who they are, you can just pick from that set. If you don't, you get up to 3 mulligans per draw. Each time you take a mulligan, you get 1 fewer character. So you start with 4, then you get 3, 2, and 1, for a total of 10 possible characters you can see per draw. Characters who are rejected get thrown in this bucket here, and we don't hear from them again until next time.
So choose carefully.
Once you've chosen, we spin this sucker, and wherever it lands is where they go. If we end up with a match, that's 2 characters in the same bracket, then we draw what the contest is from a different bucket. And there's all sorts of things in there. There could be Rubik's Cube solving, there could be a marathon, there could be brain surgery. You never know what's going to show up, and you never know who's going to win. If your character lands on a bracket that's already full, then we just keep the wheel moving in the direction it was going last. Sometimes the wheel likes to be a little bit unpredictable and turn itself around. Are we ready?
Ready?
I've got my peanuts.
All right.
TJ's done his product placement over
All
there.
right. Yeah, since TJ's mouth is full, I'm going to give Charlie the first selection here. You've got Han Solo from Star Wars, Jafar from Twisted, The Untold Story of a Royal Vizier, Blythe the Half-Wolf from Elden Ring, or the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. Try to angle that so you can at least kind of see.
Some good choices there. But let's go with the Wicked Witch.
The Wicked Witch of the West. Now, I hadn't discussed how our previous champions work. Once we're down to just having 2 open spaces left, then they will come in this order. It's going to be Sailor Moon, who got her championship first, and then Chef Hatchet. So Chef Hatchet will take the 32nd slot, and Sailor Moon will take the 31st. So there's the Wicked Witch. She is now waiting for an opponent. TJ,
Yes.
might this be her opponent? You've got the King from Burger King,
Okay.
Dirk Gently from Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, Yogi Bear from The Yogi Bear Show, or
Okay.
Big the Cat from Sonic the Hedgehog.
We'll go with the king.
The King. Star of the video game Sneak King.
Wicked Witch versus Burger King would be a pretty good one.
Oh, what a whopper!
He's just gotta hope it's not like bicycle riding or something.
Oh,
No.
that was almost...
It's never going to end.
Yeah,
There
that
we
was...
go.
It almost stopped. It doesn't really look like it because of how far it went afterward, but that's just the weight of the chip pulling on the wheel. Would you like Rick O'Connell from The Mummy, First Officer Naomi Nagata from The Expanse, Wilma Flintstone from The Flintstones, or Xander Harris from Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah, let's go with Rick O'Connell. He could take on the Wicked Witch.
All right. There's Rick O'Connell. TJ, would you like Toadsworth from Super Mario, Gomez Addams from The Addams Family, Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, or No Face from Spirited Away? Or, from your facial expression, would you like a mulligan?
Which Wednesday Addams are we talking about? Are we talking about the more current one?
This is Gomez Addams from The Addams Family.
Oh, Gomez. I thought you said Wednesday. Because they sound exactly the same. Gomez, he's the only one I know. Also, I reckon he could take an axe to the face and like it. So,
He probably would.
There.
It's just Gomez. That was close.
Yeah, it was very close. That was even closer than we've had before.
Who was
but
that?
He goes there. That's the Wicked Witch of the West right there.
Oh, no.
Charlie, would you like Song Gi-eun, also known as Player 456 from Squid Game,
Maybe.
Blue from Jurassic Park,
Almost definitely.
Silent Bob Blentowski from the View Askew-niverse, or Ashley Spinelli from Recess?
Definitely gonna go with the dinosaur.
She's a velociraptor.
Does it say she's from Jurassic Park?
Yeah. Because that's the name of the franchise, isn't it?
Might be more accurate to say Jurassic World.
I was mostly going
Sequel
for...
trilogy.
It's the same,
I was
isn't it?
mostly going for
Kind of the
franchise
same.
names when I was putting these together.
But now we've addressed it, so nobody can complain about it in the comments.
TJ,
Yes.
would you like Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, Waluigi from Super Mario, Rosalina from Super Mario, or Bulvi from the 13th Warrior?
Now, I want to go for Waluigi, but I also think it'd be fun if we just don't have Waluigi at any point, just like they do in many of the Nintendo games. Was it Smash Bros? They've been refusing to put him into.
And if you get rid of him now, he can't come back in this tournament.
Well, you can't kick him out of Mario Kart because he's the best character.
Kick him out of all games, out of spite. Go on,
At least
give him
he'd
a chance.
appreciate
We'll do wow.
Waluigi?
That's
All
not what I
right.
said, but yeah.
Walla walla.
Charlie, would you like Gunnery Sergeant Roberta W. Draper from The Expanse, Poe from Kung Fu Panda, Princess Peach from Super Mario, or Hank Hill from King of the Hill?
I do know Peach would probably be a more popular choice, but Bobby Draper, I gotta give it to Bobby Draper.
All right,
Hank
Bobby
Hill!
Draper.
I was never that into King of the Hill.
You obviously haven't seen any of the YouTube poops.
I definitely have not, and very intentionally so.
Would you like Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Which one's that?
Hamsar?
He's the angry one with the size.
Color?
He's the one with the red mask.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna take it from the start again. Would you like Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Which one's that?
Hamsar from Homestar Runner, Gwen from Total Drama, or Claudia Donovan from Warehouse 13?
Oh, it's a toss-up between Raphael and Claudia Donovan. Let's go for Raphael. It was so hard. It was so hard to think, like, because they are only people, aren't they? Dealing with all these strange artifacts, aren't they? So maybe there's like a little bit more leeway with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just being ninjas. They've at least got that
We got a
behind
match.
them.
We do have a match. Scales against scales. It's Raphael versus Blue in a contest of bubble blowing.
Oh.
Sadly, between the two of them, Raphael has lips.
I imagine Blue would just kind of hold it and scream.
I mean, if you could if it counts to stick your snout in the water and blow bubbles like a German Shepherd does, then that would be one thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is
it
just bubbles? Or is it
actually
blowing bubbles?
that could count. Let's roll this back for a second here. That's a really good point. That
you're
could
talking, like,
count.
blowing
what were you
bubbles, like,
thinking
floating
when
through
you
the
wrote
air?
down blowing bubbles?
Well, when I was thinking of, bubble blowing, I was just thinking of using the wand.
Yeah.
But, there are alternate ways of accomplishing the task. If she just shoves her face into a vat of
bubble fluid.
soapy water and exhales, controlledly and over a long
So
duration, then she
now-
could blow a really big bubble.
Now we're
She
thinking,
does have better...
what could be the biggest bubble that either of them could do?
If she's just sticking her snout in and blowing a lot of bubbles, they're all going to sit and float at the surface. If you want to, like, intentionally do that to create a large bubble on the surface, that takes a lot more specific effort and, like, precision
Control.
skill that I don't think
Yeah.
she would have the mental brain power for.
Yeah, it would have to be. It would be judged on size and duration.
And bubbles floating on the water have an unfair advantage over bubbles floating in the air anyway.
Quality over
There
quantity,
is
isn't
that.
it?
But Raphael would be allowed to do the same thing.
So honestly, I think it would be Raphael.
Yeah,
Raphael?
yeah.
All right. Raphael takes it.
While the other one would be cute,
In
it's
fact,
got
I
to be
need
Raphael.
to draw that now. But
Pencil and
All
paper
right,
out.
Charlie, your turn. Would you like Ellen Ripley from Alien, Max Payne from Max Payne, Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers, or Lightning McQueen from Cars?
I feel TJ is signaling me that I should go with Rita Repulsa.
Yeah.
The question is, do I want to be obstructionist or cooperative? Because, I mean, it's Ellen Ripley.
It's your pick,
Yeah, let's go with Ellen Ripley.
Ellen Ripley. And it's TJ's turn.
Rita
Would you
Repulsa.
like John Madden from the NFL, Rogue from X-Men, Duncan from Total Drama, or Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory?
Oh, it's going to have to be Dexter. He's got more capabilities to do
All right.
anything.
And also some
Dexter.
excellent lack of capabilities in certain areas.
He is a kid,
He's also about 1.5 feet tall.
which means he can get into small places. I'm hoping it's a competition of getting into small places.
Oh, we're going backwards.
Dexter versus Ellen Ripley.
Oh no, fighting aliens.
Skydiving.
Okay.
Okay.
In space, nobody can hear you scream.
Two components to this one. First is how high they jump from.
Space.
Basically, it's a game of chicken in that regard. How high they can jump from, but also how close they can land to a target on the ground.
I would generally trust Ripley to be pretty competent at a task like this. She wouldn't not be like excel at it, but she would not make stupid mistakes. She would do a decent job. The problem is Dexter would first calculate very well and effectively how to get to the exact spot. He would build a very brilliant parachute. And the most important factor to me is he got to weigh like 40 pounds. So even if his parachute failed, he'd be fine.
But you have to take into effect the Dee Dee factor. What has Dee Dee done?
The fact that
What has
Dee
Dee
would
Dee
also
done?
be...
Dee Dee would not be a factor in this. She is a contestant of her own.
But if she were there, she'd be inside his parachute backpack.
Probably. Yeah, using
Pop.
using
Hi,
a skirt.
Dexter.
And then she'd pull a parachute and he'd be fine.
Ellen Ripley has probably had training in zero-G environments, so would probably understand how to maneuver and do things in like a sort of free fall situation. So
Okay.
maybe that would help.
Think she'd be cooler under pressure, and then that would actually be more of an advantage than,
Probably,
say,
yeah.
Dexter's inventiveness. What do you think, Charlie?
I think his inventiveness goes. Should give him a lot of credit. He's pretty cool under pressure too until things go wrong, and usually they go wrong because of Dee Dee, and she's not here. And as far as Ellen, as much as I hate to argue against some of my favorite characters, it's not like she was a NASA astronaut, top-notch trained. She was basically, a space trucker. She is definitely an action star. She could do it, but she's not like, a Legolas action star who can do any physical task without a problem.
I'm
And
going
Dexter
for
kind of
Ellen.
is. I think it'd be Dexter.
If you're both locked in, then it's up to me to break the tie.
No, I'll go to Ripley. I want her to win anyway.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
That
it would be close either way. Charlie, would you like Kwame from Captain Planet and the Planeteers, Miss Scarlet from Clue, Kraid from Metroid, or Princess Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic?
Oh, let's go with Twilight Sparkle.
All right. And that is Miss Scarlet from the movie Clue.
A little more characterization than the game, but still.
Exactly.
I would like to point out I have a Terry's Chocolate Orange here because it is Christmas. I would also like to point out this never works. Do you know what a Terry's Chocolate Orange is supposed to do?
It's supposed to break when you whack it. Always
You're
works
supposed
for
to
us.
whack it
It's on the
What do you
floor.
No, you hold it. You hold it like this and you whack it.
on the table. And also, you don't take it out of the foil first, you goof.
I forgot about that. It's all over the floor. Oh my god.
It worked. Not sponsored by Terry's. All right.
Terry's chocolate oranges.
Oh,
It'll
flies
break on the
off.
floor.
I think I threw the character back in.
Sorry, I prepared for Christmas, and now it's taking its effect.
Who did we just have? You know what? We're gonna take that choice again
No,
because
I
I
can't
can't find the character. Yeah.
Orange distracted me too.
Yeah. All right. So Charlie, would you like Blade from Blade, Foaming Mouth Guy from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Bastila Shan from Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, or Cookie Monster from Sesame Street?
Cookie!
Nobody good with this. It's got to be Cookie Monster though.
Cookie.
That's
C
the Shan's
is
fun
for
character.
cookie. That's good enough for me. C is for cookie.
Etc.
How are your vocal cords doing?
Chocolatey.
Okay.
Then you're doing it wrong. But then that seems to be your thing with Terry's chocolate oranges.
TJ,
Hello.
would you like Doomageddon from League of Super Evil, Pee Wee Herman from Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Gonzo the Great from The Muppets, or Robin Scherbatsky from How I Met Your Mother?
Gonzo.
Yeah.
Gonzo the Great.
Yeah. He's a very good... whatever.
He's the best whatever I know.
Great wheel. You never know where it's going to land.
All right, Charlie. Would you like Raven Baxter from That's So Raven, Gex from Gex, Goombario from Paper Mario, or Hunter the Cheetah from Spyro the Dragon?
As far as the various silly talking animals, I gotta give it to Gex.
All right, Gex.
I have fond memories of playing through only the first couple levels of that game as a kid.
I think most other people who finished the game also do. All right, Gex versus Waluigi, wingsuiting. So a little bit different from skydiving. They're actually jumping off of a mountain, and they have a wingsuit that they have to control manually.
Gex
so they're
is a
not just
spy.
floating down passively.
Gex
Gex
is
Gex
a
is a
spy.
spy.
And his tiny size would confer him some advantage, but just think of the wingspan on Waluigi.
That's
Basically, be a
parachute.
kite.
Yeah, he's basically just like all wing.
I'm tempted to go for Gex because he'd be lighter, more able to control where he's going to go because he's a spy and he's able to do that sort of stuff. He's had training.
Is he
Waluigi,
a spy?
I imagine he'd just flail about, land on the ground, and then have to go to hospital.
Is Gex a spy? The game that I played, the primary conceit of the game was he's a couch potato going into different TV worlds.
I know his ad showed him like posing with a model like 007, but I don't think he was a spy.
Yeah,
But he had a stint as a spy.
Could
he
be.
did.
I mean, that's a good argument. It's quite possible that despite Waluigi's wingspan, he'd lose his cool and flip out and
Just skip across the ground.
you might assume his giant wingspan is very brittle too. Brittle bones.
So Gex then?
I'm thinking Gex, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Because honestly, even if his wingsuit didn't go that well, he'd still land and be fine.
TJ.
Hello.
Would you like Ignacio from Nacho Libre, Olaf from Frozen, Sly Cooper from Sly Cooper, or Diddy Kong from Donkey Kong Country?
Let's go for Olaf. He's just so clueless.
This bracket has already been finished, so we keep it moving until we find a completely open one, and that's this right here.
I'd love to see
Would you
Olaf
like-
versus the Wicked Witch. That'd be a good one.
Would you like Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!, Watto from Star Wars, Snagglepuss from Snagglepuss, or Bobby Zimmerowski from a Goofy movie?
I think we're definitely going to go with a triple.
Gonna go for a mulligan?
Yeah.
Alright, so here are your replacements. You've got Annie Edison from Community, Clarence Kick Batowski from Kick Batowski Suburban Daredevil, or Archimedes, the Scientist.
Let's go with Annie Edison. It's like you got the big end there.
I'm looking for the crap
Alright,
joke.
so we keep this moving this way, and there we are. TJ,
Yes.
would you like Warmbo from Some More News, Midna from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Gus Griswold from Recess, or Pete Sr. from Goof Troop?
Yes, Pete.
I did look it up before actually using that as his name. That is his name.
But why would they pick a name like that? That's just so goofy.
Alright, Pete versus Gonzo. Badminton.
I think that'd be Pete.
Every time you see
think
Pete, he's in a
so,
sports
yeah.
outfit.
It'd be the only case of somebody being knocked unconscious with a birdie.
Pete's physique will fool you. He's really strong and rather agile.
You have to be when you're a cartoon.
Gonzo's stuck with Muppet agility.
So Pete then?
Yeah.
I think Gonzo could beat another Muppet, but Pete could beat most people.
Well,
All right.
That depends. Is the shuttlecock a shuttlecock, or is it just Gonzo?
It would be Gonzo by the end, and he would still lose.
Pete takes it. Charlie, your turn. Would you like an imposter from Among Us, King Hippo from Punch-Out, Burton Gus Guster from Psych, or Lord Eddard Ned Stark from Game of Thrones?
We already know Ned wouldn't survive one round without getting his head cut off, so we're gonna go with Gus.
TJ,
Hello.
would you like Scott Calvin from The Santa Claus, Cynthia from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, Principal Peter Prickly from Recess, or Jake the Dog from Adventure Time?
Cynthia, because I think she have good hiding potential. Just couldn't find that anywhere. Oh ho ho.
Well, speaking of hiding, Cynthia versus the King. And the contest is stage makeup.
Does Cynthia wear makeup?
Yeah, pretty much. Stage makeup, however, is very different
Well,
to
the
normal
problem
makeup.
is- It is. But I mean, doesn't she also wear like a costume most of the time?
You'd say that, looking at him, but
Right. And the problem is the King's face is plastic.
it is.
Is that going to be an advantage or a disadvantage in this case?
I wouldn't say
Good
that's
question.
makeup though. That's a mask, unless that is his face and it just looks plastic.
That's his face.
As a character, that's his face, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now did he have that done to him? Did he have an accident?
Too many
he,
burgers.
It's just how he is.
Did he look
He's
too
got
close
the
to
one
a fryer?
facial expression. No, he's just got the one facial expression. That's it. That's just how he is.
No. That's just how he was. Was he born that way?
Probably.
Yeah, like Ronald McDonald. Nobody puts on Ronald McDonald's makeup. He just is a clown.
Oh, no. Well, in that case, that's against your argument, because if he just looks like that, then he may not have the experience in doing that. So it's got to be Cynthia.
Well, I wasn't
Alright.
agreeing. I was saying I didn't know if it was an advantage or disadvantage to have your face be plastic.
It's got to be Cynthia. She must know. She must know how to do some things better than the king, whose
Cynthia.
face is just plastic
All right,
and
Cynthia.
therefore
Then
never changes.
are we agreed on that?
Okay.
All right. Cynthia advances, and we've got another match immediately. Cynthia versus Ellen Ripley. Caber tossing.
Well, I don't know much about Cynthia, honestly. Is she normal person strength?
She's a. It depends on what you mean. In the Pokemon world, strength is dependent on your Pokemon, and she's like
Just
one
kind
of
of
the.
wildly variable.
She's one of the champions. So
And I know there's moments of like Ash allegedly in the cartoon holding up a Pokemon on his arm that in the Pokedex weighs 3 tons or something.
yeah, But if you think about it, Cynthia could use her Pokemon in the Caber Toss to toss Cabers.
I don't think that would count.
It works in the Pokemon world.
Unless, I mean, if Ellen can use a power loader, then sure.
Well, yeah, that could work as well.
In either case, if it's just them on their own, I think it would be Ripley.
Oh yeah, Ripley's
And
stronger.
if they can use their various implements, I'd give the power loader over most Pokemon.
Hang on, I need
So
to Google
it would be
what
just
Pokemon Cynthia
it would
has.
be just them themselves. They have to actually physically toss the caber. They're not allowed to use equipment for that.
Then I'd say Ripley.
TJ?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm checking to see what Pokemon she's got.
But we've determined that would not be relevant.
Yeah, but there may just be like a really good one. You're like, oh, you got to do it.
Well, she'd have to physically toss the caber herself. She can't use her Pokemon for that.
He's trying to change your mind on that, though.
Spiritomb,
Her
Roserade,
her Pokemon, if her Pokemon came into this contest, it would either be in the context of an actual Pokemon battle, which is a contest that we have in the bucket, or as their own contestants.
Lucario, Milotic, and Garchomp. So no, I don't think they would be in any way helpful. Maybe Lucario, but no. In that case, yeah, it'd have to be Ripley.
All right.
Believe it or not.
Would you like Elmo from Sesame Street, Montana Max from Tiny Toon Adventures, Number 3 from Codenamed Kids Next Door, or Captain Steve Hiller from Independence Day?
Captain Steve Hiller. Let's give it to Elmo.
All right, Elmo.
Is it?
Elmo versus Olaf.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It could be something sweet like frolicking.
It's Mario Kart.
Oh
See?
no!
See, that's fine.
Ever wanted to hear Elmo swear? Now you can.
Blue shell.
Mother.
Water and electricity doesn't do
A
well.
little temperamental.
So you,
His Olaf's hands are sticks.
no, but he does have a cloud over him constantly snowing, so he doesn't melt. At least at the end of the first movie, he does.
It's okay. They can put like a like an acrylic shield over the thing so he can play.
Yeah, we assume reasonable accommodations.
Elmo is a puppet and doesn't have very good thumb, or in fact any hand. In fact, they both got sticks for hands.
In this world, he can kind of play things like that, though. I think we should gotta think on their characters. They're both so friendly.
They are both ridiculously friendly.
Why is this one hard?
Okay, so mentally they're in the same spot. They're both very friendly. They're both not very competitive. So which one is more
Elmo-
physically capable of doing it? Like,
Elmo lives in the modern world, so he's very likely to have a Switch. So he'd be more
possible.
up to date with it.
On the other hand, he's also perpetually very, very young, and Olaf was built specifically to be a playmate.
But not
So
with a
playing
Switch.
games would be... But I think he's adaptable.
Elmo's young age might actually be a benefit here because he's always perpetually in that age of learning.
But
Yeah.
does he ever learn?
You'd be surprised how smart kids are these days.
Yeah, but Elmo's still on his alphabet.
Just these days.
Yes.
I think Olaf has gone through adventures, he's been through danger, I think he just probably got better reflexes and capability.
I reckon
All right,
Elmo
so
would
Charlie,
probably
you're saying Olaf,
I think Olaf.
TJ.
be Elmo.
So I got to break the tie, and I think I would give this to Elmo, just
Of course
barely.
you would.
Of course I would. I like Olaf more.
Okay, I like Elmo more, so I don't actually mind this.
All right, TJ, would you like Napoleon Dynamite from Napoleon Dynamite, Flick from A Bug's Life, Peter PJ Pete Jr. from Goof Troop, or returning champion Miss Piggy from The Muppets?
Ooh.
I was tempted to go with Pete again, but we got to get Miss Piggy back in.
If anybody could beat Pete at badminton,
It would be Pete, Pete,
She's-
Pete.
She gets a second shot at her second title. All right.
Okay, there we go. It is a good wheel. You think it's going to land in one place, but then it bounces and goes the other way. Like, no, wait.
a certain lack of predictability is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Would you like Timmy Turner from The Fairly Odd Parents, King Bowser from Super Mario, Napoleon Bonaparte, the general, or Garfield from Garfield.
Well, see, we already lost our chance to have both Napoleons up there. So let's give it to Bowser.
All right, King Bowser.
Just picking up speed.
Hey.
King Bowser versus Gunnery Sergeant Roberta W. Draper. That one requires a teammate. So instead, they're playing Quiplash.
Bobby Draper's not really known for her comedy or wit.
No,
She's not
but
stupid at all, but she's...
Neither is
Neither is-
Bowser, at least
Bowser.
not intentionally.
I would
Bowser
imagine
does do quips, though. He's got a lot of
He
super
does.
villainy.
He does.
that is a good point. But
Wit
I would
in that
say Bobby
sense.
Draper probably has more of an idea of what would make people laugh. She knows people more than go for Bowser.
think-
I
I think
Yeah.
Bowser.
I was gonna
He
say, I
wouldn't-
think Bowser would probably get more laughs at him if nothing else, and
Yeah.
as a result, get more points. So we're saying
Yeah.
Bowser.
I think
Yeah,
Bowser.
this one's
All right.
difficult
I keep
to
picking
argue.
great characters and then having them be picked against by me.
All right, it's Bowser versus Gex, and because I drew a team-based contest, we get to see that right now. Ghost stories. Bowser telling them to Bobby Draper, Gex telling them to Waluigi.
Bobby Draper would not be phased by any scary story Bowser could come up with.
I agree, but I also feel like we've never really seen that part of her personality before. Nobody's been telling spooky stories or anything.
But she's
So-
been through terrifying stuff.
Yeah, there's war, and you do what you have to, but then there's the unknown. It's very
She's also
different.
fought monsters and the proto-molecule stuff.
That is
It's
a
a lot
good
of unknown.
point.
Assets.
But she did
I
have
think she's
armor
been
at
through a
that
lot of... And Bowser's idea of horror is like King Boo, who's like a giant pillow with teeth.
One day
Although
I
King
was
Boo
sitting
can be
on the
pretty
toilet
scary.
and a boo came out. Roar.
Yeah, and I think
But look
Waluigi
at the other side.
easily
Sorry, go on.
scared, so maybe Gex would be able to do it
And-
quite proficiently.
And Gex would have that kind of jump scare timing, I think. He'd be good at messing with people, and Waluigi would be vulnerable to being messed with.
Yeah,
I don't think Waluigi is known for being particularly prone to scaring, but he could, like, I'm imagining Gex trying to do like a jump scare with him and just getting punted.
Which would count, I think.
It would count, yeah.
it would definitely be
didn't get
more
a
effective
reaction.
than Bobby Draper.
Yeah. I don't think Bowser could get much reaction out of Bobby Draper, and Gex definitely could get reactions out of Waluigi. So I'm thinking Gex here.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Lizard
going
King,
with
big
Gex and
one.
Waluigi.
Oh yeah.
All right. TJ, would you like Mothra from Godzilla, Caillou from Caillou, David the Gnome from
That's
the
Caillou.
world of David the Gnome,
That's Caillou, not Kaiju.
yeah, or Edward from Edward Scissorhands?
Oh, imagine if it was Mothra versus Caillou. Just using that wordplay.
And Caillou is kind of a kaiju to David the Gnome.
As much as I cannot stand Johnny Depp, he's got them scissors.
All right. That's full, so we're going to move all the way over here. All right, and we have one fully open bracket left.
It's
Once
TJ's
that-
third paid promotion for the game.
Once
Right,
once this one down here, Phil, at least has one person in it, then instead of skipping to a fully open bracket, because there are none, then we just go to the next one that has an open slot. Would you like Snidely Whiplash from Dudley Do-Right, Dr. John A. Zoidberg, M.D., from Futurama, Shirley Bennett from Community, or Beetlejuice from Beetlejuice?
Sorry, who was that?
Let's do
Beetlejuice.
Zoidberg.
All right, Zoidberg.
This
Why
came
not
up the other-
Zoidberg?
This came up the other day that someone tried to argue that Zoidberg was a doctor. I'm like, I don't think he really counts as one.
He is a doctor. He may not be a good one.
Ooh,
Zoidberg
so close.
versus Cookie Monster in a joust.
I can see Cookie Monster putting on armor.
I could see Zoidberg trying to hold the lance and failing utterly.
Just snipping it in half.
Cookie Monster's shown to
Not
be
even that, just slipping off.
mad about cookies, but he's also not like incompetent generally.
He's mad about jousting.
But either way, Zoidberg would mess up almost anything he does.
I've got this image in my head of Cookie Monster on a horse with the jousting pole, but then being hurled sort of Raggedy style off the other side.
But it wouldn't be by Zoidberg.
I reckon
It wouldn't be by Zoidberg, I think.
No, but I reckon Zoidberg would probably use his own claw.
I mean, he wouldn't have the reach then. He'd get lanced long before he got to Cookie Monster.
No, a competent character could make that work.
But
that's not
if-
Zoidberg.
He's got one to lance like that, and one to snip as it comes towards him.
And a
Is he
competent
strong
character
enough
could
to do
accomplish
that?
that.
He cut
But
off an
not
entire
Zoidberg.
person's arm once in just one snip, and that's bone.
But he didn't mean to, and that's important here.
But he could. That's the point.
And I said,
he could.
and as I said, a competent person could do that, but that's not Zoidberg.
He's competent at mutilation.
That's always by accident.
Not when he snipped that off. He was fighting Philip J. Fry, and he just went snip, and it just came off.
Okay.
And then he started hitting him with the with his own.
But
arm.
imagine if Zoidberg's shield was painted like a cookie.
Then Zoidberg's in trouble.
Give
I
him a
would-
selection of shields, and he's like, "Oh, I want the cookie one."
Yeah, I reckon Zoidberg.
I think Cookie Monster.
Up to me to break the tie, then. I'm going with Cookie Monster. TJ,
Yes.
would you like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead, the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, Bob the Builder from Bob the Builder, or Mad Mardigan from Willow?
Ooh, do Bob the Builder, because he can fix anything.
Not like Fix-It Felix Jr., though.
Probably not. No.
Alright, Bob the Builder versus Gomez Adams in a cringe competition.
I mean,
Can he fix it?
let's
Yes, he
Forget
can.
let's define the parameters here a little bit.
Sure, it's essentially, like stand-up comedy, except instead of trying to make people laugh, you're trying to make them cringe.
Bob the Builder, then.
I don't know.
Well, it
Against
depends on the
Gomez?
type of cringe, because if it's sort of like, oh, that's nasty sort of cringe, then obviously Gomez.
I mean, Gomez is great at horrifying people and making them uncomfortable. That's kind of one of his whole things. He loves and enthusiastic about it, but his whole life makes everybody else around him uncomfortable. Always making out with his wife in public.
I can't
Gomez.
blame him. Gomez Adams takes it. Charlie, would you like Bob Ross from The Joy of Painting, the Corinthian from The Sandman, Tom Six from Toonami, or Launchpad McQuack from DuckTales?
For TJ's sake, and because I owe him on Rita Repulsa, let's do Bob Ross.
Alright, Bob Ross. And he's brought back his job toss wig.
Yep. I am the anti-Ross. The angriest, most stressed out artist you could
Alright.
possibly imagine.
There's matches from here on out. Would you like Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps, Birdo from Super Mario, Ka from The Jungle Book, or Carpet from Disney's Aladdin?
The carpet. He can fly.
He's got a surprising number of skills, actually.
And he's good at anything that the writers of the movie were like, wouldn't it be funny if he was good at this?
Carpet versus Rick O'Connell in Super Smash Bros.
Carpet.
They are actually playing the
Carpet.
game themselves. They're not. Alright, Carpet.
Yep.
He's got faster
Nor answered.
thumbs, despite having no thumbs.
Oh yeah.
Charlie, would you like Meg Griffin from Family Guy, Zazu from The Lion King, Snarf from the Thundercats, or Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls?
3 ridiculous sidekick characters, and also Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Jojo.
But I gotta like Zazu. And honestly, one of the best parts of the new Lion King movie.
Zazu versus Edward.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Mountain climbing.
So,
Okay, assuming Zazu can't just fly,
yes.
he could, flap to get up things, right?
I don't know why you would assume he couldn't fly.
Well, then he'd win. And I'm just
He
imagining
just
Edward.
has to physically get up there without the use of external implements.
Well, I'm imagining Edward climbing with scissors for hands and trying to get a grip on any rock, and that would just not work out well.
If we wanted to even things out, we could give them each a walking stick. and require that they get up there with it.
Just fly up with the walking stick in the beak.
Just carrying it in his talons, like why is this so heavy?
If it's an easy path, I'd still kind of give it to Zazu if he can fly. If it's a rough path, Edward would not stand much of a chance to get up actual difficult rock climbs where he needed to have a grip.
Isn't Edward a robot?
No, he's just a guy with scissors built into his hands for some reason.
He was built, but he's not a robot. He was like a...
He's a real boy.
Like a Frankensteinian type of character.
Sort of like an android.
I mean, kind of. The only parts of him that were actually metallic were his fingers. Because his creator was going to give him real hands. But as he was showing them to Edward, and this isn't spoilers because this is like the first 10 minutes of the movie, but as he was showing them to Edward, he had a heart attack.
Yeah, Zazu, he can fly.
Straight into another match. Zazu versus Elmo.
Elmo's getting a lot of these really close calls here.
It's pain tolerance.
Oh! Oh!
That doesn't tickle!
Elmo's been through a lot.
Elmo's been through a lot. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Didn't one of his family members die or something? What kind of pain are we talking about? Emotional or physical?
Emotional pain.
Like physical pain.
He's a puppet. I'm going to use this argument every time. He's a puppet.
Not as a
And
character,
Zazu's
he's
a
not.
And Zazu's a cartoon.
Yeah, they can't feel It ain't happening. They're both brilliant at it.
I mean, Zazu regularly deals with lions, including helping to rear baby lions. I'm sure he's been poked and prodded and nipped.
Toughened up, yeah.
And hey, okay, there's that time he got sat on by a rhinoceros. Or an elephant, whatever that was.
Yeah, that didn't seem to hurt him, he just seemed annoyed.
And he was very polite about it.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Zazu.
Yeah.
Alright, and straight into another match. Zazu versus Ellen Ripley. 100-meter dash.
He
Again,
can
he
fly.
fly?
He is allowed to fly. That
Well,
may not win it for him.
Not necessarily. Like, there could be characters who are faster on foot than he is by wing, but not any regular human.
No? How fast can a hornbill fly? Let's find out.
Alexa, how fast can a hornbill fly?
From azatag.az. The southern ground hornbill is the largest species of hornbill on Earth who can fly up to 18 miles an hour and has an impressive wingspan that reaches about 4 feet across.
I think we're talking about one of those.
So 18 miles an hour?
Apparently.
Oh, you're talking about a huge one with a 14-foot wingspan.
4 foot.
4 foot. Yeah, I meant 4 foot.
I mean, that is about how big Zazu is shown to be, I think.
4 foot wingspan?
Yeah, because like the lions, when they're young, they're like 2 feet at the shoulder, I think, and then Zazu is like half that height, and you need a wingspan of about 4 times your height in order to get any good lift.
Okay, this says Zazu's a red-billed hornbill.
How fast can a red-billed hornbill fly?
Here is some information for how fast can a hornbill fly.
18 miles an hour. No, that's the southern ground hornbill again.
Either way, I think it's smaller is going to fly faster, probably.
Alexa, how fast can Ellen Ripley run?
From popville.com. Yes, she is very fast. She can run faster than 40 miles per hour.
What?
It came up with
Faster
an
than
answer.
14. Okay. And
I do
it's
not
not
trust
like
that answer.
And it's not like she has to sustain this. It's a 100-meter dash, so it's a sprint. So 14 versus maybe 18 if we're assuming that he's not significantly smaller than that.
Did it say 14?
It when he asked his Echo, it just said she can run faster than 14.
How faster, we don't know.
So we're looking at a minimum 14 versus a maximum 18.
I don't think 18 is the maximum because we're talking about the really big bird.
Should we just give it to Zazu because he's flying?
I think it's Zazu.
All right.
We went far too into that.
That's the best part of this game.
Yeah, welcome to anyone's game. All right. TJ, would you like Dixie Kong from Donkey Kong Country, Lord Business from the Lego Movie, Wario from Super Mario, or Homer Simpson from The Simpsons?
Homer Simpson. Donut eating competition. Donut eating competition. Come on. Faster. Faster now.
Homer Simpson versus Annie Edison in a marathon.
Well,
Annie. Although, Homer is selectively athletic. If you held a donut at the finish line...
yeah, that would definitely let Homer win. But we can't really guarantee that. There'd be a donut there. If it's just a race, I think Annie would take it.
Well, a marathon's more of an endurance thing, isn't it? So you could
An
walk
endurance?
a marathon. Homer's more devious. He would probably have a few more...
Devious?
Yeah, if there's a competition, he'll go to any lengths to try and win. Usually lazy
Not in a
lengths,
smart
but
way.
Yeah, if he tries to cheat, he will get caught and he will be disqualified.
He
damn.
wouldn't cheat. It's a marathon. I don't think he'd do well. He's just too lazy.
Yeah.
He'd get about 100 meters in and just collapse.
I reckon he'd do one step and collapse.
Annie Edison?
think so.
All right.
Okay. I just looked it up. I found the information. Hornbills are 30 kilometers per hour, which comes to about 18, almost 19 miles per hour. This
Okay.
is the red-billed hornbill.
Yeah, that's about the
What's the
same
number?
as the other one. Annie Edison versus Gomez Adams.
Since I'm still deeply caring about this hornbill issue.
Well, you should, because now it's bird imitation.
Oh, Gomez.
Yeah.
That's one
Yeah.
of those weird,
They've
quirky
always
hobbies
got-
he would have.
Some strange little secret skills, haven't they, the Addams family?
Gomez takes it. And we need another character. Would you like Johnny Quest from The Adventures of Johnny Quest, Olmec from Legends of the Hidden Temple, Tiny Tina from Borderlands, or Mandark from Dexter's Laboratory?
I want to see how Olmec does.
Pick an Olmec?
Yeah.
Alright, let's rock. Olmec versus Bob Ross. Yo-yoing.
Can you describe Olmec? I don't know what that is.
He is a giant stone head built into the side of the hidden temple.
I think it might have to be Bob Ross on this
So, no hands, no arms.
No hands. He can control a gate.
one. You could theoretically
So you
pull
can
a
attach
yo-yo up
the
and down with
yo-yo-
that.
You can attach the yo-yo to the gate.
But I think it's going to have to be Bob Ross here.
Yeah.
Alright. Bob
old
Ross versus Carpet. Corn husking.
Oh, I think Carpet got speed and agility.
He's got that cartoon speed, doesn't he?
And Bob, I mean, even without cartoon, even not cartoon speed, he's just got speed and agility. And Bob Ross is just very calm, and he would do it. He would do it at a nice, easy pace, and
Like, don't
he'd do the job well and right. And
you have to do that with your face? Like,
Mm-mm.
No?
No, you just pull the bits off of ears of corn and leave the naked corn cob behind.
can you do that with bananas?
With the corn on it, but I mean, I
Banana
guess you can
husking.
husk bananas, but it's going to be mushy afterward and
Nah,
not very useful.
it wouldn't be very appealing.
No. Give it to the carpet.
All right, TJ, you're saying carpet.
I'm saying carpet.
Charlie, you agree?
Yes.
All right, carpet takes it. 3 spaces left.
Oh wait, Bob Ross is
So,
out of
TJ?
it now.
Yeah. TJ, this is the last selection that will be made before our current champions come back in. Would you like Ted Theodore Logan from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? And yes, Theodore is the nickname there. Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars, or Michael Scott from the US version of The Office?
Ted.
All right, Ted
Go for
Logan.
Ted. Time travel. Could do anything with time travel.
Ted Logan versus Burton Guster. It's cup stacking.
Who is Burton Guster? I'm looking it up, but I don't know what he's from.
He's from Psych. It's a show about a guy who is extremely observant and extremely reckless, and in order to not get arrested, basically he calls in many tips to the police because he can just spot things that are wrong because his dad trained him to, and he's got this photographic memory.
Right.
Because
So
he's going to get arrested over knowing too many details at one point, he starts faking that he's psychic. And
I see.
Gus is his kind of straight-laced sidekick who is ridiculous in his own ways, but mostly tries to keep him grounded and be the foil.
He's the best friend who also has a day job working in pharmaceutical sales.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah,
Basically
he's
Sherlock Holmes.
Gus is the Watson,
Yes.
basically.
What was this about again? What are we doing?
Cup stacking.
Cup stacking.
Gus does have
Against-
weird hobbies, but I don't think he'd be really amazing at that.
And that's not just, carefully stacking cups. That's you have a
Speed
stack.
stacking.
You have a bunch of like red solo cups, and you go pop, 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 and stack them into a pyramid, and then break it all down, and you're done.
And who was that against?
It's Burton Guster versus Ted Logan.
Ted. I reckon Ted would have practiced.
Ted?
Yeah.
This might
Don't
be
know-
the kind of thing that Ted would be really interested by.
I don't know Ted very well, but I don't think Gus would be great at it.
He could go
Ted
back
Logan
in time.
versus Pete
and
Pete
practice.
Senior. Tickling. Pete
Pete.
is tickling Gonzo,
Oh,
and Ted is tickling Gus.
That's got to be Pete.
yeah.
Yeah?
Gonzo
Think
seems
he-
like he'd be very ticklish.
And Gus is the kind of guy who would be able to turn off his ticklishness.
Pete versus Carpet. Hot
Competition's getting
pepper
real
eating.
now.
Hot
That's one
pepper
thing Carpet
eating.
lacks is a mouth or any biology.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I think Pete would just be able to suffer through the mildest pepper available. Of course, he wouldn't pick the mildest pepper available, whether or not he was trying to. Just eating one would be better than Carpet could do.
It's
He'd
an
still be pretty
automatic
good
win
at
for
it.
Pete.
It's not very often you get a default against Carpet. Time for our current champions to come back in. We've got Sailor Moon.
We still haven't seen the Wicked Witch go through, have we?
Sailor Moon versus Miss Piggy. Clash of the Champions.
Oh no.
Hot dog eating.
There's no contest there.
Miss Piggy?
Miss Piggy.
I think it depends on what the hot dogs are made of, don't you?
I
Let's
think
assume
they're
beef.
cannibals.
And
I
yeah,
think they
pigs
will
don't
eat
care that
anything.
much.
Miss Piggy versus Cookie Monster. Quilting.
How do either of them have the patience for that?
I could see Cookie Monster putting something together. It would be very much like cookie themed, but
It would just be a cookie. Like that. Just round.
yeah, sure. It'd be round. It would have it would be mostly like a tan color, and then like little brown spots here and there. Like little brown patches. But
I mean-
it would be a serviceable quilt, I would imagine.
Did they give Miss Piggy any kind of fashion designer career in any of the movies?
I think that's her whole
Um,
thing, isn't she? Or she's
And does she actually make the stuff, or is she just the thought person?
I think she's just the thought person. I don't think she's ever actually shown to be crafty herself.
Then I'm leaning towards
Like,
Cookie
physically
Monster.
crafty.
And then there's one other key advantage Cookie Monster has. He does have human hands.
He does have very nimble fingers. Yeah. She is generally known to be more destructive than constructive.
Yeah.
She's really the Cersei Lannister of the Muppets.
She's more likely to garrote you with the string than make anything with it.
Cookie Monster then?
Yeah. Surprisingly,
All
Cookie
right.
Monster.
Cookie Monster versus Gex. Skateboarding stunts.
Oh, that's gotta be Gex. He's got that 90s cool extreme thing going on.
Yeah. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, I can imagine, Cookie Monster taking one too many 360s and,
360s
some cookies
being
then
cookies.
get tossed.
He'd
No,
probably have
I
a
mean like
skateboard.
spins.
Skateboard with cookies for wheels. And then he'd take a bite
She
out
would
of it
have
because it's
eat-
made of cookies
yeah.
as well.
Gex versus Pete Senior. Winner goes to the final. Restaurant reviewing. Who can write a more helpful review?
God, I don't think either of them would be helpful.
Yeah,
I could see
think
Pete doing that in his career for a while, but he'd be very negative and critical of everything.
I would say, yeah, he's got quite a lot of things to complain about.
And
I'm just
Gex-
imagining Pete's review, nothing but a long list of negative things and complaints. 5 stars.
I think at least with Pete, you know something about the restaurant, though.
I suppose so, yeah.
I think I'd give it to Pete.
All right.
I agree.
Pete takes it, and he moves on to the final. And over here, to face the Wicked Witch of the West, we've got our other current champion, Chef Hatchet, from Total Drama, Paintball.
I don't know Chef Hatchet, but I don't think the Wicked Witch is very agile.
They actually had a paintball episode, and he managed to... they actually had a couple different paintball episodes, and in one of them, he basically managed to take out the entire cast except for one very quickly.
And I kind of think it's got to be him then.
Well, yeah.
That or Flying Monkey. She's not a very physical competitor.
Although that's a point.
All right.
She does have her army of flying monkeys.
The flying monkeys can't help her.
Damn, what's the point?
She's on her own.
Why can't we play one of these where they have their powers?
They do have their powers. They just don't have their outside help.
Why not?
Because it's anyone's game, not everyone's game.
That's a good line.
That's very good.
All right, so it's Chef Hatchet versus Raphael in miniature golf.
Could Raphael do really well at that? Yes,
They're
but he does
both
not have the
very
patience.
angry looking.
Does
I
Chef
think
Hatchet
this-
have patience and...
He does. It's situational. This could be one of his like passionate side hobbies. I could easily see that.
Raphael would do well with his ninja training, but then he'd get frustrated when things didn't go his way, and he'd end up breaking shit. Oh yeah,
Just
so many
imagine
clubs.
him doing this one putt and then panning to the side and just seeing a big tangle of metal.
I'm imagining Raphael standing there doing this putt. The ball goes wild, and it just lands in this huge pile in the stream.
Hatchet.
Yeah, it's got to be Hatchet.
Chef Hatchet versus Gomez Adams in a ladder match.
What's a ladder match?
Find that?
So this is a wrestling match in which there is a ladder set up in the center of the ring
Right.
with the title belt hanging from the rafters above it. To win, you need to climb the ladder and take the title.
I think it's going to have to go to
You
Hatchet
are-
because Gomez would just enjoy getting hurt too much.
Gomez would be good if it were fencing or fisticuffs. And I think Chef just has more drive in this case.
Gomez probably wouldn't even know why he's there.
I think Gomez would get it. I think that he does have an advantage in the sheer agility that he's got. But I think as he's climbing the ladder, Chef would, knock it out from under him and start going to town on him.
Gomez does have this sort of, you think you've got him, but then it turns out you haven't, he's now got you sort of situation all the time.
Yeah, he's small and scrappy and
Right,
very much the kind of agile fighter who would drive characters like Chef insane in the wrestling ring.
Oh, it may have to be Gomez then.
I feel like Gomez's abilities in that department are a little like Bugs Bunny's. They're kind of dependent on the person they're facing, on the karmic element of who they're facing.
Well, I'm going for Gomez.
I honestly don't know. So I'll just go ahead and say Gomez.
Gomez takes it. I would have said Chef. Gomez Adams versus Zazu. Extravagant cooking.
Oh, it's got to be Gomez.
Oh, yeah. Zazu, I mean, unless it's Wildebeest.
All right, and there is our final. This is going to be a best of 3. Whoever takes 2 contests first is our champion. It's either going to be Gomez Adams or Pete Sr. First contest is Battleship.
That'll be Gomez. That's a strategic.
Battleship or Battleships? Is there a
Battleship,
difference?
the tabletop game.
Is that any
You got it.
different to the normal battleships?
I don't know what you mean by normal battleships.
Because over here it's called
A6.
battleships. Because there's more than one ship.
But there's only one battleship on each side.
I don't think we made that distinction.
Yeah,
Okay,
each of
so
the
we're,
5.
we're both talking about the same thing. Okay, all right.
Yeah, each of the 5 vessels is a separate kind of ship. You've got the carrier, you've got the battleship, which is the 4-unit one, and then you've got the destroyer and the submarine, which are both 3.
Then why do you say you sunk my battleship every time?
You
Because
don't.
you're in a commercial.
You only say you sunk my battleship when, they actually sink your 4-unit long
Really?
ship.
And they don't
'Cause
say you
that's
sunk
the
my.
battleship.
They don't say you sunk my battleships.
And also, generally, it's just you sunk it.
You sunk it.
J3, you sunk it.
Well, why don't
anyway.
they call it you sunk it then? One word. You sunk it.
Sure, they do in some countries.
So anyway, it's the 2 of them in Battleship, and Charlie is saying Gomez Adams.
Yes.
He's more devious and strategic.
I would say
I mean,
he's like
I would say they're both very devious kind of characters. Maybe Pete is a little bit more devious, but Pete is not devious in a competent and constructive way.
I'd imagine
Yeah.
Gomez actually has like an admiral ship.
Pete has more meanness to him, but Gomez can see through him a lot more easily, I think.
Yeah.
Probably got like a lot of, command experience somehow.
Well, that's not going to help him for Battleship, but it will help him for this contest, sailing the Atlantic.
It's very ship-based, isn't it?
Very
So
nautical.
far, yeah.
Has Pete ever taken his yacht out successfully?
I don't know. I don't know that he has a yacht.
Suddenly I'm imagining a Goof Troop universe and Gilligan's Island crossover, and it works really well.
You know what? It feels like Gomez again.
It does to me, Hugh. They would
Yeah,
have both have terrible luck, but Gomez would enjoy it and come back only sad that he made it back. One of our friends likes to quote this line from one of the cartoons of Gomez on a fishing trip, and these tentacles suddenly reach up around the boat, and he says, just before being pulled under, "An octopus! What luck!"
All
See
right,
if
then
he can
Gomez
take-
is our champion, but the question now is, does he get the sweep? The last contest is Mysterious Murder.
Yeah. That's a full sweep
Gomez!
right there.
Alrighty.
Perfect!
So then there's our new champion, Gomez Adams.
And isn't that how it always goes with Pete? Dominating
makes
up
it
until
to
the
the-
last
yeah.
match.
Up until the end, and then everything just goes to Alright, Gomez Adams outplanned Pete in Mysterious Murder, sailing the Atlantic and Battleship. He cooked better than Zazu, he defeated Chef Hatchet in a ladder match, he imitated birds better than Annie Edison, and he made people cringe more than Bob the Builder, so he is now our champion. But don't worry, it's still anyone's
Anyone's
game.
game! Roll credits.
Anyone's Game was a production of Raspberry Grenade Games, copyright 2023, all rights reserved.